a game changer in my own life, which has been the practice of meditation, the practice of quieting my mind, silencing my thoughts, removing myself from chaos, being around and being in environments that bring me peace, that bring me joy, that bring me happiness, that bring me adventure. And so it only made sense for me to share all of this with all of you today. So I am very deeply grateful that this experience, that this has all brought me to this very moment in time to be able to share with my beautiful audience the importance of being in that energy of meditation, of calming your nervous system, of being able to share with you what I have done that has worked for me, that still works for me. It's my daily practice. And for many of you, I know because I've heard it time and time again, I don't know how to meditate, Eileen. I can't meditate. I can't quiet my mind. My mind is always going and going. And of course it is. We all have that. It's been a mechanism that has been instilled in all of us for a very long time. And so it is normal and typical for you to feel like I can't do that, or that's too hard, or that doesn't apply to me. Somebody else can do it, but not me. And I'm going to challenge you with that because I don't believe that is true. I was in a very dark time of my life, a very difficult time in my life where there was a lot of chaos going on around me. It was a very busy life. Had a very busy private practice as a family therapist. I was doing mediations, working with high conflict families. I was in a lot of turmoil in my own personal life. I have 4 kids, for those of you who know me. Uh, just very challenging life, very challenging world. I was an entrepreneur running my private practice and my business. So every minute of every day was accounted for. And it wasn't until I had to break down and break through, right? Because you have to go through it. And I always say this to my clients and people that I work with, even people that are friends, that there's no shortcut to healing. There's no shortcut to healing. You've got to go through. And it could feel very dark, and it could feel very desperate, and it could feel like there's a lot of anxiety and buildup, and that's the time where you know that your nervous system just can't handle anymore, right? There comes a moment, and I remember precisely for me watching myself in the mirror and just having this conversation with myself about myself, that I just couldn't continue to do life the way I was doing it. It just wasn't sustainable. And I wanted more. I wanted freedom. I wanted to live a life that felt peaceful. I wanted to love myself, which I knew that I wasn't doing a very good job at. I wanted to share more of goodness with the people around me. And it's interesting because I feel that to a certain extent, having so many clients in my private practice was part of my own healing, because I'm hearing all of these stories and all of these issues that my clients were bringing in. And some of them applied to me as well, and some of them I had overcome. And so I could give them expert advice from my own experience, but it's like we were doing it all together, right? They were sharing with me, and I was giving them the advice and what I knew to work for me, right? So my whole life, or my whole practice, and then after that, because I did close my private practice back in 2017, with many things. I closed many chapters of my own life at that time to recognize that I was ready for more, right? And if you're ready for more, then you're in the right place. We're having the right conversation. You're in the right channel. And the more in the dark I was in, And the more desperate and anxious and in panic that I felt, the more I wanted to step into the light. The more light I wanted to feel, not only light around me and light within my circles, but light within myself. And I wanted to feel lighter. Like I didn't want to feel this density and this heaviness all the time that I had become so used to. I really didn't know life unless it was in chaos. And I started listening and reading books that were coming my way, right? Because those miracles just happen. People's information starts to show up. And for me, it was Wayne Dyer and understanding the power of meditation, the power of being able to silence my thoughts, the power of being able to go within and just decide that there's a beautiful person inside that needs to break free and break through this experience. And I wanted to find her again. I had to find me again. And it was through meditation. It was through, in the midst of all that was going on around me, to be able to take 10, 15, maybe 30 minutes every day, whether in the morning, before I went to sleep, to just plug in and just be with myself without any thoughts, with just silencing my mind and allowing the information that was coming through for me to be able to feel it deeply in my heart, feeling it deeply in my cells, like feeling it deeply within me and knowing that I was going to overcome this, that I was in this particular situation because I had to learn how to become better and bigger to get through this, right? And so it's interesting because my whole practice as a therapist was introducing even small children to meditation. We would end every single session with a meditation. And what I found to be so productive and so empowering was that I would take and I would write notes throughout my sessions of what was going on, particularly for that person, and what they were sharing with me in that day's session was whatever they were trying to overcome, whatever they were feeling. And I was just jotting notes and putting this into my into paper, right? So back in the day, I know may sound old school, but I love writing on paper because I felt that I could put into the paper all of this with the emotion and the thoughts and what I was receiving from what they were saying, right? So I'm recording all of this by hand as I'm writing this down on my notebook. And then I would take that opportunity to just bring them into a place where we would put some soothing music. I would turn down the lights. There was always very nice, gentle aromas in my space. They could be lavender, gardenia. Sometimes I would sage. Sometimes there was the scent of a particular incense. And at that moment, they would have 10, 15 minutes at the end of their session to just lay down and just allow themselves to be calm and peaceful as I would start speaking into what we were releasing in the meditation that day. And that's what we would do in all of our sessions, right? So what I started to see is that it wasn't necessarily what we were talking about during the session. It was the culmination of the releasing that was happening, speaking into the field, speaking into their subconscious and unconscious thoughts, that whatever they were experiencing, that they were ready to release and to let go of, as we would do that through this ritualistic meditation. And then they felt better. And I started to see that all of my clients were having so much progress that I knew that what was being channeled for us, the information that was coming in our conversation, is what they were ready to release and to let go of. And so I started this whole practice with clients that had so much success And every time I would see them, they were better, right? It was like whatever they were working on the week before or the month before, depending on how frequent they would come and see me, that was gone. And there was a new layer, right? There was a new opportunity to see, okay, what's next? And in that involvement with all of these clients, mind you, I saw about 30, 40,000 client hours in this 20-year span. And everyone was introduced to this meditation practice, and then they would do it at home. And it just felt like it was so aligned with what I was meant to do, not only in my own life and learn how to do it for myself, but then to be able to teach others really, really filled my heart with so much joy, because I know that is my purpose in life. So when you're living out your purpose because you're so passionately in love with what you do, and how you see other people stepping into their greatness and stepping into this magical miracle dose of meditation, of just coming and being calmed in my office, or whether we were doing a Zoom call or we were doing an in-person call, it just reminded me that there was something very powerful in this practice. And so today I'm inviting you all to step into this practice of meditation with me, as we have this beautiful opportunity to set these meditations with intentions, right? So I'm going back to what I was doing for my clients in the office space and on Zoom calls, because I have seen people all around the world, that I want to have this channel where you can come in and we will be having different intentions. I will be setting up different intentions. So to give you an example, it could be a meditation with the intention of releasing fears, right? Fears that come from traumatic experiences, fears that come from trauma, perhaps being in your mom's womb, healing when you were in your mom's womb. And so it could be a meditation to help you just calm your nervous system, right? To feel more calm and present and grounded in peace. It could be a meditation to help you have more certainty, more knowing that your heart is ready to find love again, to be in love, to find that beautiful partner that your heart has been calling into for yourself, for your life, for the next chapter. So these meditations with intentions will be, I will make sure that they are labeled with clarity for you to understand what the meditation is about. And furthermore, what I wanted to conclude with today is that in my own life, what I know best and what I know the meditation has done for me is that silencing the mind. And yes, it took work, right? At first, it was like, no, I can't do this. I could never calm my mind. Look at the world that I'm in. Like there's only chaos around me. But I realized that little by little, and being gentle and kind with myself, that little by little, I was able to master the art of meditation. And in that art of meditation, I am inviting you today to just give it an opportunity. Just give yourself a chance. Perhaps you've already tried the psychotropic medications. Maybe you've gone to psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists, and perhaps you've tried all sorts of other methodologies. I am just inviting you, and I'm not telling you to stop whatever those things are. I'm not here to give you medical advice. I'm just here to share with you what my experience has been, to take me from a place where it was very dark and wasn't in the best alignment to who I am, to help me elevate my life and all of the aspects of my life that were elevated, in finding love again, in finding the love with my partner that I can be passionately in love with and be myself with, to find myself the in an area of financial abundance where my business is generating all sorts of passive income, streams for me so that I don't have to worry about financial scarcity or having financial issues that I have to worry about. It's helped me to step into being able to do this, right? And to be able to share from a place of love and kindness and compassion, that I know that wherever you're at, it can only get better. And I'm here to just extend that invitation to come into my world and to come into this space and time that has been magically and miraculously uh, afforded to us, right? Brought in by the universal energy, by God, by the power of blessings and grace. If you have found me today, just open your hearts and receive whatever's in this for you. There is no judgment, there's only kindness. And so with that, I want to invite you to check the links that I will be sharing with you so that you can follow the different meditations. And one thing that I do want to invite you, sometimes we don't get what we want, or we don't get everything from hearing the meditation once. So if there's something that resonates for you, this is what I do in my own meditations, in the meditations that I do for myself, is if there's something that resonates with you and you feel like you've got the opportunity to go deeper, that I invite you to listen to it time and time again. All of the meditations are timeless, so it doesn't matter what is going on. If you feel like that's the one that's resonating, I'm going to invite you to go with your heart and go with your gut feelings and your intuition, because after all, that is what you will be expanding as you silence your mind, as you silence the ego, as you're no longer in this energy to self-destruct or self-criticize or self-judge, in this energy of unconditional self-love. If you feel like you've got to repeat a meditation, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and do that. And it's okay not to continue on to the next ones until you feel that you are done working through that one. On another note, also, as you heard earlier, I was expressing the importance of writing things down. So keeping a journal is going to be very, very impactful, very powerful, so that you can go back and follow your own trajectory, your own improvement, your own progress. After all, this is really what we're doing, is for you to step into your most greatest self, to be your most beautiful aspects without all the trauma, the drama, the karma, things that we were born into, the triggers of our life, and all the things that we feel upset about, or that we feel we could have done better or different. This is the power of healing. On here also, I will be leaving you a link to my book, Heal Your Past and Live Today, which for me was something that I had to share with all of you, because it was channeled, there was a message coming in from God, the angels, my guides, in whatever way you understand that. It was something that I needed to put out for the collective to understand that we all have a past. We all have things that have happened to us. We all have some level of trauma. We all came to heal all of those aspects so that we can continue to become better versions of ourselves. Just a small pointer, we all come from trauma just being birthed, right? Because our moms birthing us brought us into this world through trauma. There was trauma, even the trauma of what she was living or experiencing is trauma, and that all gets imprinted in our field of energy. That comes in our DNA, that comes in our cells, that comes in the stem of our brain, which is it's right here, located at the bottom, usually at the back of the neck. You will feel that sometimes you don't even understand why you're so afraid of something, or why you're going through something, or why that cycle continues to repeat itself. Well, that's trauma, or those are recycling things that are reminding you, right? Because it's all perfect. It's just to remind you that you still need to do a little bit of work around that. And we call that shadow work. And shadow work just means, it's nothing negative or dark, just means that it's important for you to sit with yourself and go a little bit deeper and understand that what you are feeling or what you are reacting to in your environment is because there's something in there, there's some sediment, there's some remnants, there's something toxic that still needs to be cleaned up and released so that you can start to fill that with energies and emotions of unconditional love and peace and joy and compassion and healing and all of the beautiful things that we are all here in this world to experience. So with that, I leave you today. So grateful for you listening and being here all the way to the end of this video. I know sometimes we just click on things and then we just let it go. And so I'm very grateful that you are with me till the end of the video. And I am so looking forward to seeing you on the other side, where there is love and light and compassion, and where you will find your way to a beautiful meditation practice so that you can embark on your own healing. Like I said earlier, you've already tried everything outside of you, so might as well start trying what's inside of you. Love you all so much, and thank you for being here with me. I look forward to seeing you on the meditation channel. Thank you. Have a fabulous, blessed day filled with grace.